Hello there, it's been a while. Right, I was asked to do a little job for a customer. This is the top of a sink cabinet, and they have a round freestanding sink on top of that. And although it's only a few months old, I think, or it's not very old anyway, the wood is starting to get damaged. And you can see here where the lacquer has split and it's sort of penetrated, and that's about 0.5 mm deep, and it's just generally not very nice. So what I'm going to do is to put it through the planer thicknesser, take about 0.5 mm off just to where we're just getting rid of that, and then refinish it and then refit it. It won't make any difference to the fit of the sink. What I'm going to do is to cover it, coat it in Osmo, which is that hasn't been done. That has one coat very quickly. I'll probably just tint it down with some spirit wood dye, just so as we get something approaching this sort of colour. But there we go. Right, let's get on with it. Right, there we go. That's come out rather nicely. It's just the faintest grey mark there. This is a nice laminated piece of oak. As you can see on the end grain, those medullary rays, very beautiful. And on the face, yeah, it's nice, that is. Right, so we have top surface machined off, and it's come up rather nice, and I don't think we've lost very much thickness, probably less than 1 mm, which is really good. So what I'm going to do before I commit myself is just do a couple of tests on the back, and what I'm going to use is a combination of Osmo Pollux clear satin and some Liberon spirit wood dye. I'm just going to do a few little tests on the back here just to see if we can replicate this sort of golden orangey, light beigey brown colour. So the first thing to do is to find myself a brush, which I have. Okay. And then a suitable thing to lift the lid. That's all I can find to start with. I've given this a really good shaking to get all the solids well mixed up. So we don't need very much of this because it goes ever such a long way. I've had this tin for ages, and it's it lasts really well. Okay, so that is neat Osmo, and the reason I'm using Osmo as opposed to, say, a polyurethane varnish is that in my experience varnishes tend to just sit on the surface, and we need something to soak in so that when it gets wet it doesn't sort of make the wood blister. So what I'm going to do is just do a little test here on this clean area. I don't know whether you can see that. Yes, you can. So that is neat Osmo. Okay, well, that's not too bad. There's nothing scientific about this whatsoever. New ethanol base, so Liberon spirit wood dye, dark oak is the colour for interior use. New ethanol based Formula ideal for colouring dense hardwoods. Okay, shake well before use. Okay, we can do that. Right, so, oh yes, so it's glued up the lid. Right, so rather than get carried away, I am going to just pour a tiny bit into the cap. Perhaps a tiny bit more than that. Okay, and get it all over my fingers, and then 1, 2, 3 spots in the Osmo. And now my fingers are also stained dark oak, and I need a suitable stirring stick. I've got a shed full of stuff here and nothing to stir with. Okay, right, well, use what's to hand. So I don't know whether you can see that, 3 spots. Using a high-tech stirring stick. Yeah. Let's see how that has had an effect. Right. Okay. Just wipe that off. Now then, let's get some of that on. Yeah. Well, difficult to tell really. Probably not had much of an effect. Right, okay, so perhaps a bit more. Again, try not to get it all over me. Oops. And high-tech stirrer again. It does seem rather a lot darker actually. I hope I haven't overdone it. Off. Oh yeah, that's distinctly different. It's all very judgmental. Well, sorry, it's all very subjective. Yeah, I think that's probably, yeah, it's probably not far off actually. Let's just try a bit more. So yeah, I think so. Right, okay, what I'll do now is just go and get another couple of cloths back in a minute and back. Okay, so just wipe the excess off. I'm not going to, this is just paper towel, I'm not going to use this for application because it just leaves fibres. Right, so, there we are. Okay, can we see that? Yes, we can. Right, so let's give this some colour. If this was a posh video, I would have a time card that said 24 hours later, but I haven't got one. But it is 24 hours later, and here we are. So this has cured, well, dried, and as you can probably hear, it's a bit on the rough side. I can't find my wire wool. It is somewhere. Where that somewhere is, I'm not entirely sure. So what I've got is some 240 grit paper, and I'll just give it a quick whiz over. here we are again, another 24 hours later, and yeah, this is quite nice. So the last thing to do is to use a pan scrubber. Effectively this is a green Scotch-Brite, which I'm told is the equivalent of 600 grit. So all I'm going to do is just give the surface a little bit, and then give it another dose of Osmo, or stained Osmo. However, this is skinned over slightly, which is not good. It has been quite warm, and it's very warm in the shed here. So I shall just remove or cut off the skin. Yeah. Where's my bin? There we are. I'll just put the skin in the bin. It's mildly disgusting, and I should have it more than enough to finish off the job. So this is the third and final coat, and then it goes back to the customer tomorrow. So we'll see, hopefully see it installed. So here it is, installed, and everything else assembled back, the basin put on, and the tap installed, and tiling put behind. And I think the Osmo actually blends very well with the original finish of the cabinet. I know it's only a small job, but it's important to get it right. So I was happy to do that. These individual little tile squares, the patterned ones, apparently are from Costa Rica and represent the indigenous animals and plant life, and very nice they are too. So there we go. Thank you for watching.